Search for salvation through the words that seal. Left aloft, left to face your fears. And all is crystal through the review mirror. And all the eyes through whom you have lived. All the pain they've seen. All that's left is what you are. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. It's very nice to have you. How are you? Making it up as I go today. We had a scheduled guest who could not make it. So, I had some stuff planned that I have to figure out on the fly. So, normally I would be sitting here. And then here, and when there's two people, this thing that you see right there is moved to a different spot. What that actually is, it's MeL, the word MeL, written in, I can't remember what language, Egyptian, I think Egyptian, I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look. When I did it, I thought, oh, that's funny. And I'll stick that in weird places for... So, a little trivia for those of you who have watched all 65 episodes. That is somewhere on the screen in every episode. Weird, right? Never noticed it. Maybe you did. But somewhere on the screen in every episode. So, I do lots of things during the week, and then usually
usually about halfway through the day on Tuesday I start getting ready for this, and I really need to write in my book to spend a whole day between now and next week doing a couple of things in here. But there's lots of things I'm trying to do simultaneously, and a couple weeks ago I literally spent an entire week like on this alone. So I got behind on a bunch of other stuff. I'm trying to work on booking and scheduling and learning new songs, and I'm writing a couple of songs, and I'm trying to record a record, get back on track with that. Sometime over the summer I had things go in the right direction, and then I had a massive computer failure which set me back quite a long way, and since then I've had a hard time getting everything back on track with that, but things are back going in the right direction and beginning to make lots of progress. And I'm hoping to have that entire long playing record done soon. So, normally, for 2025, what we're trying to do here is, talk about songwriting and the art of songwriting, and invite some guests in to discuss their approach, whether they're experienced and have been doing it for 30 years, or whether they've been doing it for 2 years, or whether they've sorry, this was part of the problem that I was having, and I was behind, and as I am most weeks, and I just don't like it. And I fiddle and I fiddle and I fiddle, and I run out of time. The other room sounded so nice because it sounded nice, but I didn't like the way it looked, and it was interfering with all these other things I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to make a dedicated room, and I literally have plans to build walls and create soundproofing, but haven't got to it yet. But every time I start doing this, the sound is so distracting to me. I know it's not to you, but this is how my head works, which is messed up. It's so distracting to me that I'm having a hard time concentrating. Anyways. See, I forgot where I was. Okay, so the introduction. This is the Stream to No One. The Stream to No One was created as a way to, as a vessel for me to put music out there. And this year, this is where I was. It was to talk about songwriting. So, my guest for today, he has a very. I had. Let's see. I had a plan to he's a marine biologist, and as he was strolling along Lakeshore, North Avenue Beach today, a whale washed up on the beach, and somebody said, "Does anybody know a marine biologist?" And he managed to pull a golf ball out of its blowhole and push it back into Lake Michigan. Sounds like a Seinfeld episode, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't really know what Christian. I think Christian is a photographer. He's not a marine biologist. So that story is complete not true. But he was hung up at work today, and he apologized 1,000 times that he couldn't get here. So it's okay. We will try to make that happen again. The MeL Muzic is my original music project, and this Friday we're doing a full show in Lombard. Since the capo is on the 3rd fret, what can I play? Because what original MeL Muzic song can I play? Last week, Patrick was here, right? And I think he was here Tuesday. So then Wednesday, I got a message from him that he had a what's called a writer's round scheduled for the weekend, where he and two other artists, they do a night of performing where you each play two songs and you explain the song and then you play it. You play your two songs, and then the next, and you're all three are on the stage, and it's kind of an acoustic thing. It's something that they do in Nashville. The songwriters do, people who have written songs for famous people or for that have been big hits, but you wouldn't know who they were. And they explain how they wrote it, or how the stories behind it, or how they got it to the person, or whatever. I've seen a couple, and they're really interesting. And Patrick had the idea to do some local music, some local musicians, and do some writers round stuff, and it was a great idea. And one of the people that he had scheduled couldn't make it, so he had asked me after being here last week if I would come fill in, and which of course I was honored. And it went really well. It was really great. There were some people there that were really focused and interested in listening, and that's the biggest thing when you're a local artist and presenting your material. The hardest thing is that whether it's perceived or genuine, oftentimes you're up there feeling like they just want to hear you play something comes from the radio. At least that's how I feel, or I have felt over the years. And but there was people there, and they were genuinely interested in listening, and it was engaged, and it was great. As I sit here and try to figure out what to play, and like I said, I literally picked up my guitar, and luckily, pretty good. But the capo's on the 3rd fret, and if I move it, it'll be a little bit out of tune. So there's a song that I played Saturday, and it was the last song I played, and I played it on here before a while ago, and it was my mom's favorite song, and I didn't play it very well on Saturday, so I'm going to give myself a chance to redeem it, because I wasn't planning on playing it. I hadn't practiced it in a while, and so I didn't do the greatest job. But I wrote this to my kids when right after I got divorced, and my older kids were little, because my dad wasn't around, and the biggest thing for me is that I didn't want them to think that I didn't want to be there. So this is for my kids. Want to be there, want to show you everything I know, want to help you, and I want to see you grow. Really miss you, and I don't know what I'll do. Want to be there, so you never doubt that I love you. I want to teach you how to stand on your own feet, to have self-respect, grace and dignity, to help you up when you're falling down, to be a friend to you each and every one of you. I love you. Much better than Saturday. The whole first verse was really cruddy, and I realized that boy, I am really struggling, man. These last couple weeks, I really apologize. I appreciate anybody who's you're not supposed to point out the flaws, but you know we're all friends here, man. So. I was supposed to unmute this and I failed to, so that's bad. And then these are just not sounding very good, man. They just don't. Let's try this and then this. Might just make it a little bit louder. Try it louder, louder, and louder, and louder. Hey, 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 hey. It's probably pretty quiet to you. I'm looking at the level in the middle of the song. I opened my eyes and I looked at the level and I thought, it's pretty quiet. Dummy. So sorry. And then this microphone makes all kinds of weird squeaky noises. Sounds like somebody's doing a Morse code. Sometimes. They're amazingly great sounding microphones, but they have this weird noise that they make. It drives me bananas. Pick that up from Jean because she writes it all the time now. Bananas. Alright, so we are playing, and we have two shows coming up, the whole band. So Friday we're playing O'Neill's, which will be fun. That'll be a fun night. We're playing some of the covers that we do and a bunch of originals, and it'll be an all-out fun night at O'Neill's in downtown Lombard, right there on St. Charles. It's a place that's been there forever, so if you have frequented, that sort of establishment there, you've been there. Because the number of people that have said, I think I've been there, you have. So that's... Maybe better, maybe. How about this? Maybe. How about that? It's ugly, but it sounds better. We're going to go with sounding better over ugly. So. Anyways, that does sound better. Sounds a little better. Okay. So, let's see. We could do, I wasn't, let's see. Why don't we do something we're going to play? This is something, I don't think I've done it on the stream very much. I play it at open mics frequently.
thoughts, leaning back in a chair, staring up at the ceiling. My mind was adrift as it skips through the list of the things I had yet to achieve. So many things I had yet to achieve. Best I can, ever gonna be good enough for me. Is the best I can, ever gonna be. It's the best I can, ever gonna be good enough for me. Is the best I can, ever gonna be. Is it ever gonna be good enough for me? Listen, that left to do, and the other undone. The weight is crushing down on me. Now I can't understand why I can't let it go, why I can't just be happy and free. Why my soul can't be happy and free. It's the best I can, ever gonna be good enough for me. It's the best I can, ever gonna be. It's the best I can, ever gonna be good enough for me. It's the best I can, ever gonna be. Is it ever gonna be good enough for me? Best I can, ever gonna be good enough for me. It's the best I can, ever gonna be. It's the best I can, ever gonna be good enough for me. It's the best I can, ever gonna be. It's the best I can, ever gonna be good enough for me. It's the best I can, ever gonna be. It's the best I can, ever gonna be good enough for me. It's the best I can, ever gonna be. Is it ever gonna be good enough for me? So not bad. Until I've been playing that one a bit. It was pretty comfortable. I don't even need the words. I used to need the words a lot. But yeah, that one, I introduce that one frequently as a song about crushing self-doubt. Yeah, the people who are artists can understand.
You constantly question yourself, and I didn't put out music for, I don't know, a decade, because pretty much I figured everything I did sucked. So I wrote a song about it, and forced myself to finish something. And when you listen to the recording of it, my guitar playing, I did some guitar soloing, and it's, there's some out of tune notes, and there's some things that are imperfect. I put it out anyways, because I had to finish. So that's that. So I'll do one more real fast, but you know what? And we'll make it easy. Album side of the week. Georgia Satellites. This week, last Thursday, I went to Black Dog Vinyl Cafe for my friend Demi puts together a group of artists once a month and features original music, artist showcase, and I went to listen to some great music last week, and then, as usual, I go thumbing through the records to see what they got. And this record was very important to me. Now, most people know it. The album side of the week is side one. Side one contains "Keep Your Hands to Yourself," which is the song, accompanied with a very, very popular video on MTV in 1986. Was a huge hit, and people still hear it today. But for me personally, 1986, the beginning of 1980, or the second half of 1986, I was a senior in high school. The end of 1986, I was a junior. And let's see, I don't know if it came out in the beginning. I think it came out early in 1986, because I remember listening to this as a junior in high school. I think. Long damn time ago, though. But Keep Your Hands to Yourself, Railroad Steel, Battleship Chains, Red Light, The Myth of Love. Okay, now the two songs that I remember most specifically from this record are Railroad Steel and Battleship Chains. And those two songs specifically influenced the writing of the MeL Muzic classic, Dirty Old Car. Dirty Old Car was written before MeL Muzic existed, with my friends Todd Sofchek, Jeff Miller. And back in the day, that band was few and far between. That's what the band was called. And Todd and Jeff, and then there was Kyle Bronston as a drummer, and then Chuck, who plays drums with me now, was older than us. He went off to college when we were seniors. He was a year older, so he was gone. He played keyboards when he was back in the summer. And then there was a time later on, we were together all the way through for like 7 years. But later on, then Kyle was no longer the drummer, and Chuck was when we were playing at places like the Cubby Bear and whatnot. In Chicago in the early 90s. As grunge was taking hold in Chicago, and we were playing, in the same places that all the famous people would be playing and were playing. But those two songs specifically directly spawned Dirty Old Car, at least for me. And I remember very specifically that whenever Todd, when you tune your guitar, you end up playing like most people have a series of things that they play to check the tuning. And I remember Todd kept playing one day I was like, what is that? And we were kids. And so we attacked it. is basically just, you know, but instead of, you know, it being, we were playing it different because I don't know if we were just too dumb to know what we were doing or what, but it ends up being. It was just slightly different, and then we also added, and then we. And then there's also a very, very, very specific stop in the middle of this, which is a direct ripoff from this album. So, and you'd have to listen to side one of the Georgia Satellites to know which song we ripped it off from. But I'm gonna play "Dirty Old Car" for you, which I don't usually, you know. I'm not gonna swear, but there is a swear word. See if you can figure it out. I bet you can. Well, I was just 16 and I thought I was cool when I bought my 73. I got it from a guy named Al out behind the old bowling alley. It was a dirty rust bucket with a flat spare tire. He only wanted $200. So I looked at my friend and I looked at the car and we said, what the? It was a dirty old car. It was a rusty old Chevrolet. It was a dirty old car. It was a rusty old Chevrolet. Driving through Pasadena late one August night, I pulled up to a stoplight and I couldn't believe my eyes. It was a 5'7" long, got her some headphones. She was looking at me. Well, the next I know, we were rocking and rolling in the back of my 73. It was a dirty old car. It was a rusty old Chevrolet. It was a dirty old car. It was a rusty old Chevrolet. Then you do the big scream. This would be the face-melting guitar solo. Here comes the big stop. And I thought I was cool when I bought my 73. I got it from a guy named Al out behind the old bowling alley. Was a dirty rust bucket with a flat spare tire. He only wanted $200. So I looked at my friend and I looked at the car and we said, what the? It was a dirty old car. It was a rusty old Chevrolet. It was a dirty old car. That's as good a place as any to stop. Thank you all for hanging around tonight. If you're January 24th, O'Neill's Pub in downtown Lombard. January 28th, the Arcada Theater. A half-hour showcase, 7 o'clock sharp. Both of those. January 30th, I am playing solo acoustic at Preservation. That is like a 3-season area, so if it's bitter cold, it won't happen. But if they have nice heaters, and they actually provide blankets at every table in case it's a little chilly. You can put a blanket around you. Next month, we have Matt Shukin, we have Miguelito, we have Rick Wales, we have Colleen Wild. Those are the guests next month. And that brings us to Dumb Joke of the Day. Now, last couple weeks ago, our musical postman, Aaron Kelly, see, when I'm not around, he sneaks in. You see, he comes in and puts the Dumb Joke of the Day in the mailbox once a week. At some point, he just comes in and puts the joke in there. And we had an argument over the flag. So I know that he's been here when the flag is up, but I still say that's backwards. But he's as we were discussing these things, he said, I took an oath. And I said, all right. So he's a man who's taken an oath. He believes in mail service very deeply. So this is a Dumb Joke of the Day. So, microphones are working now. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Last night, a cheese processing plant blew up unexpectedly in New Brunswick, Maine. There were no injuries. The plant was closed. It was overnight. But traffic in the morning was at a complete standstill. And when they asked officers what the problem was, they were quoted as saying debris was everywhere. It was delayed. I got to get a new one. Dave, our guitar player, has a Christmas screaming goat. There's some sort of, and clearly the button on his works much, much, much better than the button on mine, because he never struggled to. At no point at rehearsal on Sunday was there any delay in him with the timing of his screaming goat during rehearsal. I'm gonna have to look into. We'll keep Fred the screaming goat. Maybe we get Fred and Ed. I don't know, but Fred's got too much of a delay. Sometimes you can hear me like squeezing the crap, and sometimes it doesn't work. All right. Anyways, have a good week. Oh, and very last, there will be no stream next week. No stream next week. Because Tuesday, instead of watching the stream, what you should do is come to the Arcada Theater and watch the band. Now, there's a $10 cover. I'm sorry about that. If that's a little too lofty, I understand. But you should get some friends together and come to the Rock and Ravioli Room. I think that's what it's called. It is not the main theater. There is a nice, very, very nice event room right on the main floor. The glass overlooks the North Avenue there. It's a beautiful room. I thought it was called something else, but I was corrected. So, anyhow, have a wonderful evening, and I will get things corrected a little by. It's definitely the lighting's better this week. We would have to say that. Lighting was better. It's better, and you know what else? To me, it's on this side, but for you, it's here. You know what? If you notice, I'm definitely not a weatherman. Boy, if you had any idea where I'm actually pointing, it's bizarre. It takes some skill. See that? I like lining up the music in the lamp. That's fun for me. All right. That's enough trivia for one night. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful 2 weeks. And as the great Ray Rayner used to say, bye. Bye. Wait, oh, crap. See, now I do. All right, bye, bye, bye.